The EFL and Rick Parry have admitted to a Parliamentary Select Committee of Digital Media, Culture and Sport that 10 clubs will fail to pay wages this month. 10 clubs are unable to pay wages by the end of this month. It is a worrying time. The financial situation in football is not good. Now, the League One and League Two clubs rejected a £50 million aid package from the Premier League because they said they wanted the Championship as part of any financial assistance from the Premier League in any kind of package arrangement. And the EFL backed them up on that. So the talks broke down about a rescue package for the Championship, League One and League Two because of the stance of the Football League clubs in League One and League Two. Now, Rick Parry is the head of the EFL, and he's a very divisive figure as it is. But the FA have just lost Greg Clark as their chairman as he resigned following just some divisive comments earlier. But what does football do? The government has said there will be no financial aid package for professional football, which is interesting because they have given financial assistance to other sports. So there's a debate about that and whether that's right or wrong. I can see where sports fans are going to sit on this. But the warning from the Huddersfield owner back in the summer that 50 to 60 clubs may fail to see out the season is starting to look like a reality. And with no fans in attendance, and the lower league is desperate for fans in attendance because that's how they make their revenue is 90-odd%, 95% on gate receipts and merchandise sales. Without fans being able to buy merchandise and buy matchday tickets, it's killing them. Talks will continue with the EFL and the Premier League about a rescue package and some kind of financial compensation, but the Premier League has stated they're not going to, throw money at failing clubs. Problem is, if fans were allowed back in even some limited numbers, their losses would be less, and these clubs could possibly, most likely, afford to pay their players. So the financial crisis in football is worsening by the minute, and now the FA doesn't have a chairman. They've only got an interim chairman, so there's a power vacuum at the top, and the EFL and the Premier League can't come to an agreement over a financial support package that will see the Championship, League One and League Two through till the end of the season at least, or until at least fans are back in attendance. And the earliest we're looking at is March. That's what we're going by with provisional dates that the government had in place when they scrapped the 1st of October plan to allow fans back in. So earliest fans will be allowed back in is March, possibly April at the earliest. How many clubs can survive till then? It looks likely that more clubs will start hitting the financial wall. They cannot afford to pay their players and non-playing staff. But what solution can be found? There has to be some kind of agreement. I can see the PFA getting involved. Bearing in mind the PFA at the start of the crisis said players should not take wage cuts or wage deferrals. They were advising players not to enter negotiations about their wages. But I can't see how wages can stay at the level they are and more clubs not go into financial difficulty. We could see clubs actually go bust before the end of the season. And then what then? So we'll have to see what happens. The talks are continuing about a financial rescue package from the Premier League, because I will say this: without the lower league clubs, the Premier League will become unsustainable and the talent pool will dry up. And yeah, lower league football players aren't paid that much, actually, in the real scheme of things. Yeah, they're paid more than your average worker, but they're not paid as much as you think. So yeah, when you get to the Championship level and some of the League One clubs where you can actually see players earning big money per week, but for the most part, most players are on less than £300 to £500 a week. They're not paid as much as you think. A lot of them live in rented accommodation. They're not in these big mansions. League One and League Two players aren't paid much in real terms. They're paid more than your average salary, yes. They are well paid, but they're not paid anywhere near as much as you think. And the fact that 10 clubs can't afford to pay players and non-playing staff is quite worrying as things stand. But I'm going to leave that there. What should football do? The government has said they're not going to assist. This is now on the EFL and the Premier League to come to some kind of financial arrangement where the lower league clubs are supported. And the EFL commended League One and League Two clubs for saying we want the Championship involved in any kind of support package that's put forward, because clearly the Premier League were not negotiating in good faith, and they were trying separate negotiations with the Championship. And Rick Parry of the Football League, he is a divisive character. He's not the most popular guy in football governance, but I tell you now, he was grilled on the subject. He wouldn't name clubs because then club representatives would have to come before the Digital Media and Culture and Sports Select Committee and give their evidence. But we have to ask the questions of club spending across the board. Salary caps and wage caps and spending caps all have to be discussed because football spending is unsustainable in the long term. We could see clubs go out of business before the end of the season. But I'm going to leave that there. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.